It is my pleasure at this time to introduce Sean, who is our 10-minute speaker.
Sean, alcoholic. I knew this was coming, and I had a chance to sit out because I was sick. I'm sick, and I didn't. I should have, So I'm not going to talk much about how it was, because we all did the same thing. I started using it at a young age, at 12 years old. My dad was in AA pretty much my whole life. He was a very active member in it, so he took me to all those meetings all the time. I was running around drinking hot chocolate, and eating all the cookies at all these different meetings with my dad, and not listening to anything, not hearing anything they talked about. And when I turned 12, I found out what addiction is all about. I started off really quick. I started off drinking and using pot right away, and I took to it, and right from day one, I loved it. I started using on a daily basis right away. I don't really remember much of my past. Done a lot of drugs, There's a lot of people here, huh? You don't really notice when you're sitting back there. So, I don't know. I became a pothead, and I was grew up over in Long Beach off 17th and PCH, right behind VIP Records. And I'm a white guy, and there wasn't that many white people over there, So I'd run around, skate with my little skateboard, and get beat up all the time. All the neighborhood gangs ended up knowing me pretty well, and they liked to beat me up a lot, but I couldn't stay home and get high, so I had to be out on the streets. It was a shitty way to grow up. My mom, she saw my dad and me, and absolutely, they were divorced. They divorced at a young age, and absolutely hated me. Treated me completely different than my brother. I was the bad kid, and I soon realized that that's the only way. That's just who I was to her. So I kind of learned to enjoy being the bad guy. I liked getting in trouble. I enjoyed it. I got in a lot of fights at schools, started doing illegal activities, and picked up my first case at 15 for GTA. And I came home on probation, right? And as all of you know, weed doesn't get out of your system right away. So my buddy comes over and goes, "Here, this stuff gets out of your system in 3 days." And he introduced me to meth, and I fell in love, man. I love that stuff. Back then it was different dope though, it was a little, $20 would last 3 days for you and your homeboy, and it was a blast. I loved it. I could stay up all day and run around all night doing crimes. I can go out and steal all I wanted and not have to worry about sleeping. It was a wonderful thing. I absolutely loved it. And that's what I would do. That's how my next couple of years, I stopped going to school. I very rarely went to school, just ran around stealing shit, getting high. Getting in fights on a daily basis. It was a mess. I was a mess. I was a real angry kid. I felt no one understood me. No one understood the pain I was going through, and I had a good upbringing. My dad had money, and he had I don't know, I had a good upbringing, but I was just angry. That's all I remember. I just remember being mad and taking it out on everybody and everything I could. I started shooting dope right away. Smoking it just doesn't do it for me. I picked up that needle pretty much right away, and found heroin shortly after. And they went hand in hand. Those two things were just they let me feel okay in life. When I would combine those two, life was good. It was fun. It was exciting. I fit in. I met a bunch of kids on the block, and they actually liked me. They hung out with me, and I remember just having a blast with those guys. One day, I was a couple days before my birthday. I go to school, which was a rare occasion, and I decided to leave. I'm only staying for one class, and I got to go get high. So I jumped over the fence, and we had a Lakewood sheriff that went there, and he grabbed me, and I turned around and hit him. And got arrested for assault on a police officer. And I got super lucky. They put me in a rehab for a year in Mexico. I had to go to Mexico, and Ensenada, Mexico, for a whole year, man. That was also a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun because we got to go out, and I got to go to strip clubs and shit. It was great. It was a wonderful place. They let us smoke cigarettes, and I didn't have to go to high school no more. And all these kids there, they all got high, and you know, it was I enjoyed it. You know, we got to go surfing on the weekends. It was just real different. But I ended up getting sober there. I did clean up, and I remember getting real close to my dad during those times. You know, he'd come down every weekend, and he was in AA, like I said. So, you know, my dad was my best friend. He always treated me good. He loved me no matter what. And he taught me one rule, and that's you don't lie or steal from your friends and your family. Other than that, do what you want, kid. You know, that was kind of his thing. And so I took full advantage of that, you know. As long as I told him the truth, I was all right, you know. He got me lawyers. He never bailed me out, but he did get me a lot of lawyers. So anyways, when I got out of there, I stayed clean for a little bit, but I was just going to meetings. I didn't work no steps. I didn't have a sponsor, you know, and I managed to stay clean for a couple of years, 2.5 years, I think. And so I'm sponsoring people, you know, because I think I got it going on. I'm like 19, and you know, I'm sponsoring people. All my little homeboys are getting caught up, and they're going to rehabs, and you know, I'm picking them up and taking them out to sponsor meetings and doing all this stuff. And one day I picked up a good friend of mine, and we went to my house and we got drunk, you know, and I went out there, pulled out, the guns come out immediately. I don't know what it is with alcohol, bro, but when I drink, I want to go grab a gun, you know. I don't know why, and I want to go rob people. So I think it's a great idea. I'm like, well, who are we going to go rob today? You know, I've been sober for 2.5 years. I drink one time, and I want to go to Newport Beach and rob someone, because on the beach they can't call the cops, right? So I go out there and I stick a gun in a couple people's face, and I take their wallets and their chains and all this stuff, and I get back in the car and we're going home, and I open up the wallet and there's no money. There's an ID and a newcomer chip, bro. That's all that was in there, bro. And I was pissed off, man. I was so angry, you know, and I just laughed, you know. I just laughed. All the jewelry was bunk, fake stuff. We didn't get nothing out of that. And I ended up getting arrested the next night, and you know, there started a big old run. I didn't get clean till I came here from there. My life was full of just, you know, I couldn't stay on the streets. When I get high, I want to go out and run the streets. I want to sell dope, and I want to hurt people so they feel the pain that I had, basically, you know. I'm full of anger, and I'm just not a good person, you know. I've done 7 prison terms. I have 4 numbers. I just can't stay out of prison. You know, I last maybe a month or 2, and it's right back in for me. I have a son, he's 13, and I think I've been to 1 birthday, you know. I've been to 1 birthday. Every other birthday, holiday, I've been in prison, man, and don't really know him. You know, and honestly, I got real tired. What happened was, I was on my last little run, I got out and I said, well, this time, because it's COVID, right? So I said, this time I'm going to get it together. You know, every time I go to prison, though, I do good in prison. I do really good in structured environments, you know. Maybe not my first 2 terms, but after that I do real good. And you know, I want to do good when I get out. I get out saying, you know, I'm going to do good this time. I'm going to go see my son, because that's all I think about when I'm in there. I want to see my kid's mom. I want to see my dad. I want to see my son. I want to get that relationship with him. You know, that's real important to me when I'm in there. And I'm dead set on doing that. But for some reason, every time I get out, I wouldn't call my son. I wouldn't call my kid's mom. I wouldn't call anybody but the dope man. You know, and I'd be high within a couple hours every time. And that was the last thing I wanted to do every time. You know, I really wanted to be the dad, show my son that, you know, give my son a dad like I had, you know. And I'm never able to do that. You know, so this time I got out, or 2 times ago I got out. That was the last time I got out of prison. Yeah, it was COVID, you know, and everybody's telling me how easy it is to get off parole. See, I never checked into my PO. I don't know about you guys, but I get out and I just hit the, you know, I'm running, because they're going to get me anyways. They're going to put me in, so why check in, you know? This time I said, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to try something different, because I'm hearing it's easy to get off parole. You can do it in a year, you know, 9 months if you're lucky. And I got out, and of course I got high, but I got a job right away, you know. And I got staying in a motel, got myself a little motel, and got a little job there, so I can don't have to pay the rent. And I did really good for 6 months, dude. I mean, as far as me, my PO comes to see me, the first time I see my PO, that time I tell him, you know, look, dude, don't drug test me, because that's out, because I'm going to test dirty every time. I'm loaded, so you can just, you know, you can forget that. But I got a job and I got a place to live, and that was the best I've done in 15, 20 years. You know what I mean? That was like great for me, you know, because I've never checked in and I haven't ever had a job really. So I thought I was doing really good. And I was actually going to that job. You know, I showed up every day for 6 months, you know, high as hell. But, you know, and then one day I'm doing a favor for someone and I get pulled over and I get caught up with some guns and dope and all this crazy shit. And I end up losing my job because I you know, no show, no call, you know, for a whole weekend before took a weekend for me to get bailed out. And I failed again. That's my point. You know, no matter what I did with drugs, no matter what I do, when I do drugs, I can never succeed. I can never become the person I want to, no matter how bad I want to change, or I want to be a father, or I want to be just someone different. I couldn't do it because I was always loaded, you know, always. And so I bail out and I catch 4 more cases within a month and a half, dude. I'm calling my PO every 2 weeks. It's like, hey, buddy, it's me, Sean, you know, just got out again, you know. I bailed out, or they OR'd me, you know, and that's a new thing. They actually OR'd me. I've never done that before. But I caught 4 cases within 2 months. And my PO finally had enough. And he said, you know what, bro, I can't cover you for no more. You're going, you know, I got to violate you. So I do okay, that's fine, whatever. Come get me, you know, get me when you get me. And, it didn't take long. It took about a week. Cop noticed me, pulls me over, and I go to jail. When I got to jail, that's when everything changed. You know, I did a little 3 months, which is nothing. You know, I can do that standing on my head. And they actually put me, I don't know if the girls may not understand, but the South in LA County, you know, they put me in South. I've never been there before, man. I'm always on the 800 floor, you know. And it was cool. It was freedom, and there was white people, and it was great, you know. It's fantastic. They gave me a job, you know. It was fantastic. And but I was sitting there, and I'm expecting letters. You know, because I've always had people that had my back. You know, I've always been always had at least 1 or 2 people that I could call, or would send letters, or would come visit. And man, I couldn't get no one to answer the phone. You know, for that whole 3 months, I didn't get 1 letter. I didn't get no money on my books. I had nobody. You know. And it really pissed me off, you know, because I try to help a lot of people. Okay, 2 minutes already? Jesus Christ, I'm doing good. So anyway, so what happened was I felt defeated again, and I got out, and I said, I'm going to change, you know. So I went to put myself in Fred Brown's. I call here, and you know, I talked to Liz, and she's like, oh yeah, I got you in next week. I said, cool, but look, I got this football game I got to go to, you know. My girl got me to a Charger game, so if I'm going to go to rehab for it as a gift, you know what I mean? So anyways, then Sunshine calls me 2 days later. It's like, oh, you got to come in tomorrow. I'm like, whoa, I got to pass. Hold on a second, you know. I get to go on Monday because I got a game, and Liz already okayed it, so you can't do nothing. Just hold my seat, you know. And she did, and she held my seat. Thank God, you know, because this place really changed me. I came in here angry and pissed off. I mean, I should have been kicked out for a couple things I did, you know. I was really mad at myself for having to come here. You know, I was just full of misery, you know, and I met some really cool people. I busted my ass. At times I just hung on and just grabbed my seat. When I wanted to leave, there's some shit that came up. I guess I don't have time to tell you guys, but some stuff came up, and I really had a very good reason, I thought, to leave. So I called a bunch of people. I talked to everybody about it, and I wanted someone to co-sign my bullshit. You know, yeah, tell me, yeah, it's okay. You know, you can go, dude. That's a good reason to go get loaded. And nobody would, you know, nobody would, you know. And I thank God for that, because I would have left if someone did, you know, but not one person I talked to. So tomorrow I get to leave, you know, and I am so grateful for that, because I never, 2 weeks ago, I would have bet anybody any amount of money that I wouldn't be here today. But because of the people, the staff members in this place, you know, they really pulled together, and they really helped me out on this old case I got. You know, the blessings here are, I mean, I got a lot of blessings from being here, dude. Everything seems to be falling in place when I just step back and let everybody else, my higher power, control what happens. You know, everything just falls into place here. It's amazing, you know. God, that's all I got is 1 minute left? Geez, that's horrible. I had a lot of shit to say, you know. But either way, you know, this program has worked for me. And that's it. So I guess I just want to say, you know what, welcome to all the newcomers, dude. You know, this place can change your life if you let it. You guys got to work hard. And when you want to leave, just stay. Just don't, dude. If you don't want to be here, it's okay. I don't want to be here. You know, most people here don't want to be here at some point or another. But if you stay, your life will change, you know, and these people here will help you. You know, these guys are a family. You know, there's a lot of people in Vermont that have held my hand. You know, the staff here are just fantastic. They will walk you through everything or carry you if you need it, you know, because they have me. And I really appreciate everybody here. So thank you guys.